A winter power outage can turn your home into an icebox faster than you think. When the grid fails, your furnace goes silent and standard heaters are useless. In a prolonged blackout, the cold is a serious threat, and most people are completely unprepared for it. But you don't have to be. For centuries, people have survived extreme winters without electricity, using methods that still work today. In this video, we're revealing 12 proven heating sources that require zero power. We'll cover everything from simple, low-cost options to powerful off-grid solutions that can keep your family safe and warm. What you learn here could be critical for survival. Let's get started. 1. Your body, the personal heat engine. The most fundamental and often overlooked source of heat in any survival scenario is your own body. At this very moment, your metabolism is working tirelessly, burning calories to maintain your core temperature around 98.6 degrees Celsius. This biological process generates a continuous output of thermal energy, essentially making you a walking, breathing furnace. The challenge in a cold weather emergency is not creating heat, but rather preventing it from escaping. Your primary defense against the cold is not an external device, but a strategic understanding of how to manage your body's heat production and loss. The single greatest mistake people make is wearing the wrong materials. Cotton, a staple in many wardrobes, is notoriously dangerous in cold, damp conditions. It acts like a sponge, absorbing sweat and moisture and holding it directly against your skin. Wet skin can lose heat up to 25 times faster than dry skin, a phenomenon that can rapidly lead to hypothermia. The solution lies in a layered clothing system, a technique perfected by mountaineers and polar explorers. This method involves 3 distinct layers, each with a specific function. The base layer, worn directly against the skin, should be made of a moisture-wicking material like merino wool or a high-performance synthetic fabric. Its sole purpose is to pull perspiration away from your body, keeping you dry and comfortable. The second layer is the insulating mid-layer. This is where you trap your body's warmth. Materials like fleece, down, or thicker wool are ideal. This layer should be slightly loose, as tight clothing compresses the air pockets that are crucial for insulation. Finally, the outer shell must be windproof and waterproof. This protective barrier shields you from the elements, preventing wind from stripping away your trapped heat and keeping you dry from external moisture. Protecting your extremities, head, hands, and feet, is equally vital, as a significant amount of body heat is lost through these areas. A quality wool hat, insulated gloves, and thick, dry socks are non-negotiable. Even sleeping with a hat on can make a remarkable difference, conserving precious warmth through the night. 2. NASA's gift, the power of reflective blankets. You have likely seen them in first aid kits or marathon recovery tents. Thin, crinkly sheets of shimmering material known as Mylar space blankets. While their appearance might suggest they are little more than glorified foil, these blankets are a powerful and cost-effective tool for heat preservation. Originally developed by NASA in the 1960s to insulate spacecraft and protect astronauts from the extreme temperature fluctuations of space, their utility on Earth is just as profound. The technology is simple, yet brilliant. The reflective surface of a Mylar blanket can reflect up to 90% of a person's radiant body heat back toward them. In a situation where every degree matters, this capability is a game changer. These blankets do not generate heat. They prevent its loss, effectively creating a personal microclimate that staves off the cold. For their low cost and minimal weight, their life-saving potential is unmatched. Proper usage is key to unlocking their full benefit. Always position the shiny side of the blanket facing your body to maximize heat reflection. A common mistake is to wrap it tightly like a second skin. Instead, you should leave a small air gap between your body and the blanket. This trapped layer of air serves as an additional insulator, enhancing the blanket's effectiveness. Mylar is also windproof and waterproof, making it a versatile tool that can shield you from freezing drafts or precipitation if you are forced to be outdoors. However, these blankets have their limitations. They are not breathable, meaning any sweat you produce will be trapped inside. This can lead to dampness, which accelerates heat loss. It is important to vent the blanket periodically to allow moisture to escape. They also tear easily, so care must be taken during use. Despite these drawbacks, their value is undeniable. Stash them in your car, your emergency bag, and your home. They are an essential piece of any preparedness kit, capable of providing the critical margin of warmth needed to survive a frigid night. 3. Ancient warmth, harnessing the power of thermal mass. Long before the advent of central heating and electric furnaces, Civilizations survived harsh winters using a simple yet ingenious principle: thermal mass. The concept revolves around using dense materials, like rocks, to absorb and store heat, then slowly release it over several hours. This method transforms a simple stone into a flameless, fumeless thermal battery. It is a quiet, reliable, and entirely off-grid heating solution that has been used for centuries. Imagine placing a few large, warm rocks, wrapped in cloth, into your sleeping bag on a freezing night. They will radiate a steady, gentle warmth for hours, providing a safe and effective way to combat the cold without the risks associated with an open flame. This ancient technique relies on basic physics and provides a sustainable way to heat a small, enclosed space. However, safety is paramount when implementing this method. Not all rocks are suitable for heating. Porous rocks, especially those found in or near riverbeds, can contain trapped moisture. When heated, this hidden water turns to steam, building up immense pressure inside the rock until it violently explodes. This can send sharp, hot shrapnel flying, posing a serious risk of injury. The ideal choices are dry, dense fieldstones or granite that show no signs of cracks or fissures. To heat them, place them in an outdoor fire pit or on top of a wood-burning stove until they are very hot but not glowing. Use heavy-duty gloves or metal tongs to handle them. Once heated, the rocks must be placed in a sturdy fireproof container like a metal bucket or a cast iron pot before being brought indoors. Never place a hot rock directly on flammable surfaces like wood floors, carpets, or bedding, as it can cause scorching or ignite a fire. This method is perfect for warming a small room or a tent, providing a safe, silent, and renewable source of heat when all other options fail. 4. The Terracotta Illusion: Understanding Candle Heaters. A popular DIY project circulating on social media is the Terracotta pot candle heater. The design is simple. A clay flower pot is inverted over a few tea light candles, often using nuts and bolts to create an air gap. The visual effect is cozy, and the promise of a cheap, effective heater is alluring. However, it is crucial to understand the physics behind this device and its significant limitations. A single tea light candle produces a very small amount of heat, roughly 30 watts, which is comparable to the heat output of a small incandescent light bulb. Placing a terracotta pot over these candles does not create more heat. It simply captures the heat that is already being produced and redistributes it. The clay pot absorbs the thermal energy from the flames and then radiates it outward. This can create a small zone of noticeable warmth in the immediate vicinity, perhaps within a 2 or 3 foot radius. While it might feel comforting to huddle around, this device will not meaningfully raise the temperature of an entire room. It is more of a hand warmer and a morale booster than a viable heating solution for a home. More importantly, the risks associated with candle heaters are often downplayed. Any open flame indoors is a fire hazard. A pet, a child, or a simple misstep could easily knock the device over. Furthermore, all combustion consumes oxygen and produces carbon monoxide, CO, a colorless, odorless gas that is lethal in unventilated spaces. Never use a candle heater in a sealed room or while you are sleeping, and always ensure there is a source of fresh air by cracking a window. The terracotta pot itself can become extremely hot, posing a burn risk and creating a fire hazard if placed too close to combustible materials like curtains or blankets. The candle heater is not a worthless idea, but it is dangerously overhyped. Think of it as a supplemental source of localized warmth, not a primary heating strategy for survival. 5. The power of pressurized gas, propane heaters. When a winter storm knocks out power and temperatures begin to drop dangerously low, you need a heating solution that delivers significant, reliable warmth. This is where indoor-safe propane heaters prove their worth. Devices like the popular Mr. Heater Buddy are engineered to be the heavyweights of off-grid heating, capable of producing between 4,000 and 9,000 BTUs of thermal energy. This output is substantial enough to comfortably heat a small room or enclosed space of up to 300 square feet, transforming a frigid environment into a livable sanctuary. Unlike smaller, more passive heating methods, a quality propane heater provides genuine, room-filling warmth that can make the difference between simply surviving and being relatively comfortable during a prolonged blackout. A single 1-pound propane cylinder can power these units for several hours, making them an efficient and powerful tool for emergency preparedness. However, the immense power of propane comes with a critical need for respect and adherence to safety protocols. Using a propane heater indoors is an activity that carries inherent risks if not managed correctly. The combustion process consumes oxygen and produces carbon monoxide, CO, a transparent, odorless gas that can be lethal. In an enclosed space, CO can build up to deadly levels quickly, incapacitating a person before they are even aware of the danger. For this reason, it is absolutely essential to use only heaters that are explicitly rated for indoor use. These models are equipped with two non-negotiable safety features: an oxygen depletion sensor, ODS, that automatically shuts the unit off if oxygen levels in the room fall too low, and a tip-over switch that immediately cuts the gas flow if the heater is knocked over. Attempting to use an outdoor propane heater, such as a patio heater or a sunflower-style construction heater, inside your home is exceptionally dangerous and should never be considered. Even with an indoor safe model, proper ventilation is crucial. Cracking a window by just an inch or two provides the necessary airflow to prevent CO buildup. Furthermore, a battery-operated carbon monoxide detector is not an optional accessory. It is a mandatory piece of safety equipment that should be placed in the same room as the heater. If you do not have a working CO detector, do not operate the heater. Fuel storage also requires careful consideration. Propane tanks should always be stored outdoors in a well-ventilated area, as a slow leak can cause the heavier-than-air gas to pool near the floor, creating a significant fire or explosion hazard. 6. Old-school reliability, the kerosene workhorse. For generations long before modern prepping became mainstream, kerosene heaters were the go-to solution for dependable off-grid heat in rural homes, workshops, and cabins. These heaters are unapologetically utilitarian. They can be noisy and produce a distinct odor, but their ability to generate a massive amount of heat is undeniable. A standard kerosene heater can produce anywhere from 9,000 to over 23,000 BTUs, an output capable of warming a large, open-plan area for many hours on a single tank of fuel. When facing a multi-day power outage with deep freeze conditions outside, the consistent and powerful radiant heat from a kerosene heater can be a true lifesaver. This proven technology has stood the test of time because of its simple design and potent performance. It provides a level of warmth that many smaller, portable solutions simply cannot match, making it a serious contender for any cold weather preparedness plan. This reliability, however, is directly tied to the user's diligence and strict adherence to safety procedures. A kerosene heater is only as safe as the person operating it. The first critical step is using the correct fuel. Only 1K grade, clear kerosene should ever be used. Lower grade dyed or contaminated fuel will burn inefficiently, producing excessive soot and releasing harmful fumes into your living space. Under no circumstances should gasoline ever be put into a kerosene heater. Its vapors are far more volatile and can ignite explosively. The refueling process is another common point of failure where accidents occur. Always turn the heater off and allow it to cool down completely before taking it outside to refill. Spilling even a small amount of kerosene indoors can allow the fuel to soak into flooring or furniture, creating a persistent fire hazard. Like any combustion-based heater, kerosene units consume oxygen and produce carbon monoxide. Constant ventilation is mandatory. A cracked window is essential, regardless of the outdoor temperature. A battery-powered CO detector is an absolute necessity and should be considered part of the heater system itself. Never leave a kerosene heater running unattended or overnight while you sleep. While the fuel itself is stable and can be stored for years when kept in a proper, sealed container, the operation of the heater requires hands-on attention. It is a powerful but demanding tool that rewards discipline with life-sustaining warmth. 7. The heart of the home, the wood-burning stove. For those who are truly serious about long-term self-sufficiency and resilience against winter power failures, no heating source compares to the wood-burning stove. This is more than just a heater. It is the command center of an off-grid home. A wood stove provides a powerful, steady, and dry radiant heat that can warm an entire house. Beyond just heating, it serves multiple survival functions. It can be used to boil water for purification, cook full meals, and dry wet clothing, making it an all-in-one lifeline. Perhaps its greatest advantage is its fuel source. Wood is a renewable resource that, depending on your location, can often be harvested for free. This completely decouples your ability to stay warm from fragile supply chains, gas stations, or the electrical grid. In a true long-term crisis, having a heat source that runs on a locally available fuel is the ultimate form of security and independence. However, owning and operating a wood stove is a significant commitment that demands labor, knowledge, and responsibility. It is not a passive appliance, but a system that requires active management. The quality of your fuel is paramount. Burning wet, unseasoned green wood is inefficient and dangerous. It produces very little heat and generates a large amount of smoke and creosote, a tar-like, highly flammable substance that builds up inside the chimney. According to fire safety associations, creosote buildup is a leading cause of devastating house fires. To burn safely and efficiently, you must use seasoned firewood that has been cut, split, and left to dry for a minimum of 6 months and ideally for a full year. The installation of a wood stove is also not a casual weekend project. Improper installation, including inadequate clearances from combustible materials or a faulty chimney system, can have catastrophic consequences. It is essential to have the stove installed by a certified professional who understands local building codes and safety standards. Finally, ongoing maintenance is non-negotiable. This includes regular removal of ashes, periodic chimney sweeping to remove creosote, and inspection of gaskets and seals to ensure efficient operation. Despite the hard work involved, the peace of mind that comes from having a roaring fire while a winter storm rages outside is unmatched. 8 are pocket-sized flames, the ingenuity of alcohol stoves. In the world of emergency preparedness, sometimes the most effective solutions are the simplest and most compact. Alcohol stoves, long favored by ultralight backpackers and minimalist campers, are a perfect example of this principle. These small, silent, and surprisingly potent devices have become a staple for urban preppers and anyone building a compact emergency kit. Their appeal lies in their simplicity, low cost, and most importantly, their fuel. Alcohol stoves typically run on denatured alcohol or high-concentration isopropyl alcohol, 91% or higher, fuels that are readily available at hardware and drugstores. Unlike pressurized gas or kerosene, alcohol is incredibly stable for long-term storage, is not explosive, and can be stored safely indoors without the risk of leaking flammable fumes. It burns cleanly with a nearly invisible and odorless flame, making it a discreet option for generating heat. While an alcohol stove will not heat a room, its value as a personal survival tool should not be underestimated. It is perfectly suited for boiling water to purify it or prepare a dehydrated meal, warming up a can of soup, or providing just enough localized heat to keep hands from going numb in a stalled vehicle or a small tent. Many popular designs can be made from 2 simple aluminum soda cans, making them an accessible DIY project. A common and safer variation involves placing alcohol-soaked cotton balls inside a small metal tin, which contains the liquid fuel and reduces the risk of a spill if the stove is knocked over. Even with its small flame, safety precautions are still necessary. The combustion process consumes oxygen and creates a small amount of carbon monoxide, so it should never be used in a completely sealed space without any ventilation. Because the blue flame can be difficult to see in bright daylight, one must always exercise caution and assume the stove is lit after fueling. For its minimal weight and cost, an alcohol stove provides a versatile and reliable backup heating and cooking method that can easily fit into a coat pocket or glove compartment, offering a critical capability when it is needed most. 9. The sun as your furnace. Mastering passive solar gain. In the depths of a power outage, when the furnace fan stops humming and the silence of a cold house sets in, many people forget that a massive, free nuclear reactor is burning in the sky above them. Passive solar heating is not about high-tech panels or expensive batteries. It is about architectural intelligence and tactical heat management. The concept relies on the greenhouse effect, capturing solar radiation through your windows and trapping it inside as thermal energy. When executed correctly, this strategy can raise your indoor temperature significantly during the day, even in freezing weather. The key lies in active management of your home's apertures. South-facing windows are your primary heat collectors in the northern hemisphere. As soon as the sun breaks the horizon, every curtain, blind, and shade on the south side of your home needs to be thrown wide open. You want that light to strike floors, walls, and furniture where it is absorbed and converted into heat. However, simply letting light in is only half the battle. You must stop heat from bleeding out. While your south-facing windows are acting as heaters, windows facing north, east, and west are often acting as thermal wounds, leaking precious warmth into the cold air outside. Keep these covered with heavy blankets or thermal curtains to minimize loss. The real secret to effective passive solar heating, however, is thermal mass. Solar gain is fleeting. Once the sun sets, the heat dissipates quickly unless you have a way to store it. Dense materials like concrete floors, brick walls, or tile absorb heat slowly throughout the day and release it gently at night. If your home lacks these features, you can improvise. Placing large, dark-colored water jugs in direct patches of sunlight creates artificial thermal mass. Water is excellent at holding heat, and these jugs will act as silent radiators long after dusk. This method requires zero fuel, zero maintenance, and costs nothing but attention. Yet it is a staple strategy for off-grid cabins from Alaska to Scandinavia. 10. The Victorian solution: why hot water bottles still work. It is easy to dismiss the humble hot water bottle as a relic of a bygone era, something belonging in a Victorian novel or a grandmother's attic. But to overlook this simple device is to ignore one of the most efficient, safe, and psychologically comforting heating methods ever invented. The physics behind it are undeniable. Water has an incredibly high specific heat capacity, meaning it can absorb and hold a tremendous amount of thermal energy. A high-quality rubber hot water bottle, filled properly, acts as a concentrated reservoir of heat that releases its energy slowly over 4 to 6 hours. In a survival situation where heating an entire room is impossible or fuel prohibitive, the strategy shifts to microclimate heating. You don't need to heat the air in the room. You only need to heat the space between your body and your blankets. Using a hot water bottle correctly is an art form that maximizes safety and longevity. A common and dangerous mistake is using boiling water directly from the stove. Boiling water can degrade the rubber over time, leading to leaks, and increases the risk of serious scalds if the bottle bursts or is held too close to the skin. Ideally, water should be hot but not boiling. Around 190 degrees Fahrenheit is sufficient. After filling the bottle about 2/3 full, it is crucial to gently squeeze the remaining air out before screwing on the stopper. Air expands when heated, and trapping it inside creates unnecessary pressure that stresses the seams. Furthermore, never place the rubber directly against your skin. Always use a fleece cover or wrap it in a towel to moderate the heat release and prevent low-temperature burns. Whether placed at the foot of a sleeping bag or hugged against the core, a hot water bottle provides a profound sense of security and warmth that battery-powered gadgets simply cannot replicate. It is a reusable, fuel-free, assuming you can heat water via fire or gas solution that has saved lives in trenches and blackout-stricken cities for over a century. 11. The hidden grid-down asset: gas fireplaces. For many homeowners, a gas fireplace is viewed primarily as a decorative luxury, a way to add ambience to a dinner party or a cozy focal point for the living room. However, during a winter power outage, that aesthetic feature can instantly transform into a critical life support system. Unlike electric heaters or modern HVAC systems that are dead in the water without grid power, many gas fireplaces are designed to operate independently. The crucial factor determining whether your fireplace is a heater or just a hole in the wall is the ignition system. Older models and specific millivolt systems utilize a standing pilot light, a small, blue flame that burns continuously. These systems often employ a thermopile, a brilliant device that converts the heat from the pilot flame into a tiny electrical current, just enough to open the gas valve when you flip the wall switch. If your fireplace has a standing pilot, you likely have a source of heat that requires no external electricity. Even if the electric blower fan won't run, the unit will still radiate significant warmth and generate convective currents that can heat a main living area. However, modern units often use intermittent pilot ignition, IPI systems, which rely on electronic sparks similar to a gas grill. These require electricity to start. The vital step for preparedness is to check your specific model now, not when the lights go out. Many electronic models have a battery backup compartment tucked away behind the bottom louver or near the control valve. Inserting fresh batteries can allow the ignition system to function even when the house is dark. It is imperative to understand your system's operation and limitations before a crisis strikes. A working gas fireplace can turn a single room into a warm lifeboat for your family, preventing frozen pipes and hypothermia, while the rest of the house drops to freezing temperatures. 12. Clean burning modernity: the bioethanol option. As urban living spaces shrink and building codes become stricter, traditional wood stoves or propane heaters are often impossible options for apartment dwellers or renters. Enter the bioethanol fireplace, a modern, sleek, and increasingly popular solution for supplemental emergency heat. These units burn bioethanol, a renewable plant-based alcohol fuel often derived from crops like corn, sugarcane, or potatoes. The primary advantage of bioethanol is its remarkably clean combustion. It burns without producing smoke, soot, ash, or the dangerous fumes associated with other fuels, meaning these fireplaces do not require a chimney, flue, or complex venting system. This makes them the ultimate portable fire. They can be placed on a coffee table, mounted on a wall, or set up in the center of a room, providing immediate flame and warmth wherever it is needed most. While they may look like designer decor, do not underestimate their utility in a blackout. A standard bioethanol burner typically outputs between 2,000 and 4,000 BTUs. While this won't heat a large home, it is more than sufficient to take the biting chill out of a bedroom or small living area, raising the temperature by several crucial degrees. However, the ventless label can be misleading. While they don't produce smoke, any real flame consumes oxygen and emits carbon dioxide, CO2. Using one in a tiny unventilated room for extended periods can lead to poor air quality and stuffiness. As with all combustion heaters, cracking a window or keeping a door ajar is a smart safety practice. The most critical safety rule with bioethanol is refueling. The fuel is highly volatile, and pouring liquid ethanol into a hot or lit burner can cause a dangerous flash fire. You must always allow the unit to cool completely, usually for at least 15 to 20 minutes, before adding more fuel. For those in condos or apartments where storing propane tanks is prohibited and wood stoves are banned, bioethanol offers a legal, safe, and effective way to stockpile a source of real fire and heat.